What is up, everybody? Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. I had to wear my shirt that I just got in the mail. I literally just got home from the gym like 25 minutes ago. I have a package on my front door, and it's from the bestie, Presley. My birthday's on Monday, so she had sent me my birthday gift, and come on, how perfect is this? Saber and Miko in all of their forms. So yeah, I got Miko side-eyeing me right now because she's like, "Ma, what the hell? What the hell? I'm on your shirt and I'm right over here." So thank you to my bestie Presley. She knows me so well. She also got me she said it was from Target. It's so cute. It's this little hot pink disco ball candle that is just so perfect. So perfect. So on today's show, y'all went y'all went in with these questions. So that Ask Me Anything app, I put a link on my Instagram. I tried to put another one on today. I don't know if anybody else is having like Instagram bug issues, but after like what was it, 1:30, it will not let me upload. I couldn't put anything to my grid. I couldn't put anything on my story. It would just keep saying like uploading, uploading, and never post. But I still got, what are we going to go through? We're going to go through 47 questions from Ask Me Anything. And I feel like you guys only want to know two different things from the theme. Am I doing the open and my dating history? And it's always so interesting to me, like what people are interested about certain people. So apparently those are going to be our two running themes with some other things mixed in there, but we'll let a couple other people start joining. I imagine that some of these questions, and I'll actually pull up the full question because I don't want people thinking that I'm changing the words. There was no way because I know Ortega, he tried to show us, Jonathan, I almost called him Anthony. Jonathan Ortega tried to show me how I could mirror my screen, and then I could have gone through because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm picking and choosing. I am going to read every single one, but I couldn't figure out how to mirror my screen. It wouldn't connect. It's probably some security settings that I have either on my computer or phone. But what I did was I screenshotted each question. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. And then so yeah, I screenshotted each question, then I airdropped it to my computer. I know there's probably a better way. And then I will screen share so we can go through the questions together. And it is also interesting the types of questions I get when it's anonymous versus when it's not. And some of them I'm just wondering, like, we'll get into it, but there was like a specific question, and to me, I'm like, you would only ask this because it's because you're anonymous, but like if you were actually a good person, you would have just sent me a DM, and we'll get into that. And maybe it's just my perspective. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong, but just I don't know. It seemed weird. We'll give it another couple minutes. How's everybody's week been? Uh, Mine was good. I was actually going to go on a date tomorrow, and he canceled. Let me read this message. And it's funny because I deleted the dating apps and then I got bored the other day and I'm like, let me just re-download one because I didn't erase my whole profile. That just takes too much time if you want to go back. Okay. I appreciated that he was honest, but it's just we were supposed to have a date tomorrow. We were supposed to go to one of my favorite places. It's kind of funny because that's for anytime I like if I get to pick where the date is, I pick this place because I love the aesthetics. They got good cocktails. I don't really drink, but like they also have a lot of good alcoholless drinks. Why can't I think of what they're called? Yeah, somebody drop it in the comments. Remind me what they're called. And they also have bacon flights and really good steaks. But he messages me and goes, I'll be honest, I've really enjoyed getting to know you, but I have reservations about the distance. He lives like 50 minutes from me, 50. Which in this day and age, I'm sorry, but like if anybody in the comment section or watching is in the dating field, like you're not going to find somebody you're compatible with as your next door neighbor. You're just not. You got to set your distances. Like, a 50-minute drive, We haven't even talked about like we haven't even gone on a date yet. You don't know if I want to be here forever. I don't know if you want to be there forever, but whatever. Again, he is now I'm making excuses and getting annoyed, but whatever. I'll continue. I'll be honest. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, but I have reservations about the distance. Here's the kicker. I don't think this will work. I'm pretty needy when dating someone when it comes to time and attention. Haha. And then I go, thanks for being honest. And that's all I said. So again, I appreciate him being honest. And if you think that 50 minutes is too much to see if you're compatible with someone, that's fine. I don't want you to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time. Also, with my travel schedule, and if you're telling me up front that you're needy, yeah, you're right. This is definitely not going to work. It just ain't. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Love it. Good times. Okay. We're not going to wait anymore. We're just going to get this started because I don't know how long it's going to take to get through these, depending on if people want to ask follow-up questions and whatnot. So let me share my screen. Oh, the preface to this is all changed. Okay, I want to share. I actually do want to share the entire window or the entire screen. What's the difference? What happens if I? Oh wait, I can. Okay. Hold, please. Let's see. Entire screen. If I did that, then you would be able to see that. And then, okay, we'll just do this. Actually, is there a way? You guys are hearing me think in real time. I just want to get all of these open. And then maybe I can just tab through his pictures. What the heck? What happens when I do that? Are you sure you want to open 46 items? Yeah, I am sure. Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yes, this is what I want. Screen 1. And then I can click through. Oh, amazing. What the heck? It's like when your phone updates and you don't know where any of the buttons that you need. I hate how the iPhone updated. Okay, why? Can y'all see a share screen? Am I just doing something wrong? Oh, wait. I think I got to change. Hold on. Hold the phone. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. But I want to still be in the corner. Maybe I can do this. Then make myself a little smaller. Ooh, that looks really bad. I'll move the chat. We're going to not overlay the chat. Okay, we're just going to hang out with this for a bit. Okay, so this one's pretty boring. Plans for tomorrow. Well, that was from yesterday. So now the plans for today, doing a live show. But today, what did I do? I woke up, I answered some emails, I did some editing, and then I had one of my friends come over to look at my house for a couple of things that I'm doing. And then him and I went to get brunch. And then I came home and then I did some more work. And then I went to the gym. I worked out. I came home. I'm doing this live show. And then me, Sean, and Tommy will record Talking Elite Fitness later tonight. So that's my plans for today. Next. Okay. I looked this up. Who can tell me what does DOA? Why the DOA love life? You seem pretty awesome. I Googled it yesterday. Hold on. I'm going to do it on my phone so that it doesn't share screen that too. I don't know what that means. DOA, dead or alive? Meaning. Abbreviation, yeah, for dead or alive. So I don't know what you're looking for in this question. Why the DOA love life? Like, why is my love life terrible? Why is it lame? Why do I go on a lot of first dates and never a second? I don't know. I mean, I do know. I know that I'm part of the problem. I will own up to that. At the end of the day, I've dated a lot of frogs. I've put up with a lot of bullshit over the years. I've dated a lot of shit humans. So now my standards, oh, dead on arrival. Thank you, Moose. Why the dead on arrival love life? But what does that mean? I don't know what this person is looking for in this question. I think I'm pretty awesome. I can be pretty awesome. I've got a lot to offer, but it's for the special someone. My friend today who I was at brunch with, he told me that I need somebody that challenges me. So, we'll go with that and see. Okay, next one. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're getting into it. Now we're getting into it. Do you think Castro should be fired? Honestly, I think it's really interesting when people ask me this question. Um, I know that we're all humans and we all have a uh like emotions or opinions, and people tend to sway one way or another on certain things. What about the brunch guy? The brunch guy is one of my friends and he's married. Like, he's a friend. Um anyways, to me, I don't really think that it's necessary for me to have an opinion on whether I think Castro should be fired. At the end of the day, I'm somebody who's just in the media landscape and it doesn't directly impact me. And I think that the decision and like the voices that should be listened to are, the athletes, the coaches, the managers, the agents, the people that work at CrossFit HQ, like the people that are directly affected by the decisions that he makes. I think those are the opinions that matter. And those are the ones that should, like, all of the opinions and not just opinions, because I don't think it needs to necessarily be just like an emotional response, but those are the conversations that I think should be had when talking about like whether somebody should be fired or not. And to like ask me if I think that he should be fired or not, it just truthfully, my opinion would seem inappropriate. Like, it doesn't really matter or hold weight. And I think that that's a question that has a lot of different legs. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people could live in one camp or another. And I think that it also depends on like your interaction or your relationship with him. And I mean, I've talked to several people since the games, and truly, like, from athlete to manager to people that work at CrossFit, etc., everybody has had a different experience with him. And I think everybody is going to kind of wait how they would answer this question based on those, and that's fine because we're all humans. But to me, um, I don't think that my opinion as being somebody who's like, my job is just to report the news and the facts. Like, sometimes I give a opinion on certain things, but to me, something that holds so much weight like this, it is kind of not where I want to put my energy. Caleb, isn't the job of the media to voice their thoughts on what is occurring in what they cover? Of course, but I don't think that our job as the media is to give opinions all the time. I think there's a time and place, and especially when you're thinking of podcast format, which is what a lot of the media does in this landscape compared to like if you watch the news. I mean, unfortunately, not as much anymore. It used to, or in the early years that I was in it, it really was just, go do the story, report the facts. Sometimes your story is going to balance or lean a certain way. And to me, at least the ones I was doing, it was never because of an underlying feeling I had, but it really just came down to who's answering my phone calls and willing to go on camera for the story I'm doing. So when I think it's the job, isn't it the job of the media to voice their thoughts? No, it's the job of the media to voice the community's thoughts. And that's why we interview people and we ask them questions just like this. Like, what are your thoughts on not just Dave, but the Open? And we'll get to that because everybody wants to know whether I'm participating or not, which I also think is a really like interesting, like human study on like the things that people are interested in about people. But yeah, it's our job to get a pulse of the landscape or the atmosphere or the ecosystem, there's the word, that we're covering and highlight those things. And that's why at the CrossFit Games, I tried really hard. And again, it's not a perfect equation to interview athletes in different camps, interview athletes from different regions, interview athletes who've been to the games a different amount of times, specifically talking about everything that happened at the game. Same thing with like managers, coaches. I really tried to give like a diverse painting of a brushstroke for my painting of what people were saying and feeling. And again, not everybody wanted to go on camera. So there's a little bit of that will not play into the big picture of a story you're trying to tell. But to me, it just, it doesn't feel right to really give my opinion on whether I think somebody should lose their job. It's, the people that I'm talking to and working alongside that, those are the opinions that at least I want to hear. I get the interest of wanting to know, like, from every media outlet that we have, like what their opinions are on this. But to me, it just, not my place. Okay, which brings us to our next question. A lot of people ask this. I think I'll click through them once we get to it. Are you doing the Open? At this point, I honestly don't know. If I'm being honest, and I think if you guys have followed me for long enough, you'll realize that all I'm trying to do is be honest and be myself. And when it comes to this, I do really, I feel torn. I feel in two different directions because, I love CrossFit. It's what it's done for me, my health, the community, uh, given me something to be athletic with in my adulthood. I mean, the methodology has done great things for my life as a whole, and it's connected me with some of my best friends in the world, like Presley, Tracy, my friend Kelly. Like the list goes on of Sean, Tommy, the wonderful humans that CrossFit has introduced me to. So I would never want it. Like I would never say, "Oh my God, I wish that I never found CrossFit," or I hate CrossFit. You'll never hear me say those because it's given my life so much value and meaning. When it comes to doing the CrossFit Open, and I've kind of always lived in the camp, or at least since covering the sport, that I do feel like the sport and the methodology should be different. Obviously, there's like a ton of crossover. I mean, it's the athletes are doing the sport, which is the methodology. But to me, they just have different goals and different priorities. And I've always, or at least up until the last like 3 to 5 years, thought that they should have different people in leadership positions because like their North Star goals are going to be different. So when it comes to deciding whether I want to do the Open or not, like I said, I've done it every single year since starting I started in 2016. So then I think my first Open though wasn't until February of 2017. I've done the Friday Night Lights at my affiliate. I've done it at drop-in affiliates. Last year was really cool. I went to a couple different ones. I did an Open announcement last year, which was so much fun. And so like, I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But then you also look at, what happened at the CrossFit Games and, the lack of accountability from CrossFit HQ with the investigation. And I'm totally aware that, CrossFit HQ obviously has lawyers. They're obviously working with their lawyers. And maybe the lack of transparency around the investigation more than likely has to do with the advice that they're getting from lawyers. So to me, things aren't always black and white. And I know that we can beat our drum that we want accountability. And, I mean, a big reason why I got into journalism is I love storytelling, but I also think that people in power and big corporations and politicians, et cetera, should be held accountable for actions. Everybody should. So to me, it's a weird line, and I don't have a firm yes or no answer. Caleb, why not do the open to support the methodology that's given you all the things you've gotten? Yeah, I think that's a great argument. And like I said, I haven't made a decision whether I'm going to or not. The thing that I would say to that though is right now, truly, I am right in the middle. I'm not leaning towards a certain way. If part of my entry fee to do the open would go directly towards my affiliate that I'm bringing business to and supporting, I feel like that would have me maybe lean heavier into like, I'm definitely going to do the open. Because I also wanna, support the business, and I wanna support, those coaches that are waking up at 4 a.m. every morning to like start the 4:30 class and, all of those things. And I used to be a CrossFit coach as well. So I know the grind with that kind of stuff. So it's not a black and white decision for me. I still haven't made the decision. I could easily come on this show. And again, it's my show. I can do whatever the heck I want. And I could say, you know what? I'm not doing it this year because I'm training for tactical games and it just doesn't align with my programming, which potentially is true. I am training for tactical games. I'm going to do a competition with one of the owners, Amanda. I want to call her Amanda Cherry, but she just got married. Amanda Thayer. Her and I are doing the team event in Texas. I'm super excited. But even though I'm going to train for that, like it wouldn't prevent me from doing the open. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I'm trying to be as open and honest with you guys as possible with where my headspace is at. And right now I just don't know. Unfortunately, like I don't have an answer. I don't know what's going to give me clarity to the answer because again, like it's given me so much, but yeah, I don't know. And that's kind of just where I'm at in real time as I'm thinking. Okay, the next. Oh, this one is interesting. Is it awkward with the boys at TEF, so Sean and Tommy, that you're working on your own channel? Are you leaving TEF? No, I am not leaving Talking Elite Fitness, TEF. Is it awkward? I don't think so. They've never voiced a concern or awkwardness, and I feel like the three of us have a good enough relationship. I mean, we talk every single day, and like they're not just coworkers to me. Those guys are my friends. I mean, I don't think that they care that I do a live show where most of the time I talk about my dating life or lack thereof. Sometimes I talk about it on our Friday Q&As with TEF with our patrons. I don't get nearly in the weeds the way that I do on this show. And then the other content that I'm doing, I mean, I just interviewed Simply Manders, who's a content creator, an influencer. She's not somebody that we would have on Talking Elite Fitness. Like the Talking Elite Fitness content is very specific to elite coverage of the sport and talking about the like the hot topics of the sport, the news of the sport. And with my channel, it's more of okay, outside of CrossFit, and I'm trying to think if I've had anybody on there who's in the CrossFit space. I interviewed both Hyrox athletes. I interviewed last year and this year's champion for tactical games. Oh, I did the thing with Victor Hoffer, but that was more like playing around, and I had like a lot of access to him at semifinals. So that was fun. But yeah, like honestly, with my channel, there might be some CrossFit stuff, but it's not going to be the same stuff that you would see on Talking Elite Fitness. Oh, and then the other CrossFit stuff on there is the stuff that I do independently at smaller competitions. So Desert City Classic. And when I kind of started doing that kind of coverage and talked to Sean and Tommy about it, John Woolley, Sean has an OnlyFans and none of them worry he's leaving. Oh my God. Sean's gonna die when I tell him you say that later. Sean, well, I can't say for certain that he doesn't have an OnlyFans because I've never looked. So the amount of people now typing to see if Sean has an OnlyFans. So yeah, no, I don't think it's awkward. Oh yeah, and back to, when I started covering these smaller to mid-level competitions, I talked to it with Sean and Tommy and I was like, do we want to have like Talking Elite Fitness branding? Do you want me to co-collab on some of these things? And they basically were like, if it seems relevant. So last year, not the year that we just had Tactical Games Nationals, but the year prior, I interviewed a couple of CrossFit games athletes like Jacob Hepner because he's super into the sport. So I collabed with TEF on that because it seemed relevant and interesting to our audience. But I really do try to keep the content and like what the coverage is like separate. And I have a lot of fun doing both of them. I feel like they serve a different person, maybe a similar audience, but I don't feel awkward. I feel like if Sean and Tommy felt awkward, they would tell me. I would hope that they would tell me. Maybe it's a follow-up question that I should ask them. But yeah. And no, I'm not. I ain't leaving TEF, y'all. Do you want to go to the beach with friends soon? I always want to go to the beach, which in Miami, I'm going to be on the beach at Wadapalooza. Caleb, Sean Woodland is actually Johnny Sins. I don't know who that is. I'm assuming it's somebody on OnlyFans, but I don't know because I haven't been on that. Yes, I want to go to the beach. Okay. Merry Christmas. I'm a huge and have been since your days. I think it meant huge supporter, huge fan, something like that. Since your Green Bay days when I was a reporter in good old Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think you were very talented and uber attractive. Thanks. Appreciate it. I had a lot of fun in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm not going to lie. Good times. Did Death by finish for good? Oh my gosh. No, it didn't. I know. We literally didn't communicate anything. It was one of those things where everything at the games happened. And then the games were like 1 out of 10 weeks that I was on the road straight through. And my intent was to like put a post on TEF and communicate what was going on with Death by. And it was one of those things that's like on your to-do list. And then it just keeps getting kicked down. And then the further it gets kicked down, the less relevant it is. So I was just like, we're just going to like, we'll let people know eventually. So yes, Death by is coming back. We are just in the middle of a rebrand and I just got some graphics back and I'm just making a couple of tweaks. So the goal now is to start it back up after the new year. So heading into Wadapalooza, that'll be a lot of fun. Will you be visiting Fittest of the Coast? Interview me. I'm your biggest fan. Haha. Yes, I am working Fittest of the Coast again. I'm super excited. That competition, I mean, last year, I think they had like 2,000 athletes. I feel like it was around the same number as Wadapalooza. And it was such a well-run competition. Nearly everything was on time. Oh, sorry, I'm watching Miko bite her toy and I want to make sure she wasn't choking. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. At that competition, I'm pretty sure I actually think Tim Paulson is competing at that one. But for that one, I don't focus as much on the elite competition. I try to give like a bigger idea of what's happening at the event. So I'll interview people in like the scale division, the masters division, et cetera, et cetera. Hello, Barry. Welcome. Okay. CrossFit is dead. Prove me wrong. Oh my God. I feel like that's Eeyore. Eeyore is here. I don't think CrossFit is dead. I think it might. Okay. So again, let's separate the conversation because I don't think that the methodology is going to die. I don't think affiliates are going to die. At the end of the day, they're all independent businesses. And in a lot of parts of the world, they're thriving, Europe specifically. And I live in like a not great CrossFit booming ecosystem for whatever reason, but I have lived in a lot of areas that when I lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, there were literally affiliates like a couple streets over from each other and they all survived and they all thrived and they all had met needs to different types of members. And I think that's awesome. So okay. Is CrossFit dead? Prove me wrong. So first talking about the affiliates and talking about the methodology. No, I don't know how I would have to prove you wrong to believe that, especially as you see other sports, specifically high rocks and now tactical games. A lot of their athletes use the methodology to train what they're doing. With tactical games, you have to do a ton of like sandbag work and also some like strongman strong woman work, a lot of posterior chain work because there's a lot of hinging in the sport. But like the foundations, I would say more than half of the athletes are training CrossFit, are coaches at an affiliate, or even own an affiliate. So, I mean, to me, it's going to survive. Looking at the sport, I also don't think that it's dead. Is it going to look different? Yeah, I think so. But and you'll hear more of this in the interview that me, Sean, and Tommy did with Pat Vellner that will release this week on Talking Elite Fitness. But Vellner talked a lot about rising tides and like an instance where if somebody's backed into a corner, one or two things are going to happen. Like you're going to freaking freak out and you're going to bite heads off and attack, or you're going to positively feel that pressure and everybody is going to elevate. And I really think that like the latter is what's going to happen. I feel like even though we're seeing these potential like other seasons emerge or come to the surface, I think that that's good. And I think it's healthy. And although this all is happening under the worst circumstances, somebody died, like that's nothing to speak lightly of. And it's nothing to be emotionless about. Hi, Nico. But I think that this is the year where we really see an evolution that I don't think is going to kill the sport. I just think that it's going to look different. Maybe I'm an optimist, but it's allowing athletes, training camps, coaches, maybe even CrossFit to reevaluate what are their priorities and what is going to like be the best for each individual person. And I think that I'm kind of excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens because I do believe that we are going to just see an evolution of what we know. And yes, we can all sit here and be like, "Man, I miss the days of regionals and blah 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 blah." Yes, the amount of people I've heard say that, but unfortunately, this is life. We can't just go back and rewind time and bring the season back to maybe what the OGs loved and cherished. And yes, when the open participation was going up and the views of everything was going up and everything was booming. Yeah, that was great, but again, it's in the past. We just need to deal with the hand of cards that we have in front of us. And I think that this is an opportunity to do just that and maybe change the game. You know, like maybe all of the athletes have their biggest paydays this year because there's more earning opportunities and because they can diversify and get in front of different types of fans and different types of sponsors and everybody elevates. That's my hope at least, but I truly don't think that CrossFit is dead. Yeah, Barry, the open question. We talked about it. I know that there's going to be more questions about it because everybody wants to know, but rewind and then you can fast forward if you want to catch back up and join us. How would you describe your sense of humor? I don't know. You guys tell me. I think I can be sarcastic, especially with my close friends. They kind of know me. I'm also like, if you get me in the right mood, I'm a good one-liner. Like, you won't see it coming, but I'll just like hit with something funny and just kind of walk away. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know what my sense of humor is like. I love sense of humor though. To me, in finding like a compatible human to date, they got to be able to make me laugh. I like to laugh. So, why are you rebranding Death By? You mentioned it last week. So, there's a couple of reasons. So, first, initially, it didn't feel right to have a show called Death By after somebody died at the games. Uh, so truly, that was one of the first things that I thought was, oh my God, I can't go back and have a show called this. It just seemed like it made my stomach hurt. And it didn't feel okay to me. Then as more time passed, it was like, okay, like we have Death By workouts, and that's truly like what caused the name in the beginning. It was a play off of that. And I'm like, okay, it could feel fine to just go back and call it this, but you know what? Maybe this is an opportunity for us to do a rebrand, do a nice little facelift, give some TLC to the show, new graphics, new intro music, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it truly started because it felt insensitive, but then it kind of grew into, we're just going to use this as an opportunity to freshen up a show that y'all know and love. And it will be coming back hopefully the first week of January. Oops, I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay, next. Oh, we got so many of these questions. Have you ever hooked up with someone while covering a CrossFit competition? Who is out there that thinks while I'm covering a CrossFit competition, I have time to date slash hook up? Y'all, I'm lucky if I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I am lucky if I put food in my mouth. I'm lucky if I'm hydrated and don't have a migraine at the end of the day. Like, no, I have never hooked up with somebody while covering a CrossFit competition. Small competition, big competition, etc. No. Y'all are wild. Wild. Why did your last relationship end? You should watch our first ever live with Laur, and I go into almost every little grimy detail of my last relationship. I'll give you the short version so that if we have returning people, you don't need to listen to that whole thing again. But my last serious boyfriend was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, unfortunately. So he basically lied about who he was. I believed him. There were red flags, so I'll take ownership to that. We went out to meet his family in Colorado and California. And his family actually clued me in. His sister and I went to go get our nails done before we went to meet the rest of their family in California. And she basically told me like all of these things about him that he had lied about, like really intense stuff. And so, yeah, at that point, I was like, oh my God, I'm dating a sociopath. This is great. We are gonna get home as soon as possible, which ended up being like 7 days after that. So I had to put a smile on and suck it up. And yeah, then when I got home, not that night, but the next day, I broke up with him while my dad and brother-in-law were on standby. So yeah, good times, good times. I'm looking at your guys' chat too. Caleb, have you heard about the Olympics? They get busy. It's so funny. Yeah, I have heard that. And it's so interesting too, because who has time for that? I get that everybody is hot and fit, but I get maybe an after party after everything is done. But yeah, I don't know. And especially as an athlete, how do you have the energy for that? That can't be good for your recovery score. Barry, are you covering the Asbury Park Games next year? Of course I am. Asbury is so much fun. I know that they're moving the dates. It's not in July. Is it normally in July? No, it's normally in August. It's in June this year, maybe? I have it on my calendar. I would have to pull it up, but I can't because I have this other tab opened. Um, but yeah, I love Asbury. It is in such a prime location. Basically, think of a much tailored down version of Wadapalooza, Miami. I guess SoCal too, because it's like right across from the beach. The boardwalk is right there. They have this great place to get ice cream. So that's a lot of fun. I love Asbury. Caleb, what was the most intense thing he lied about? Did he have bodies in his backyard? No, but he lied about killing people on deployments that he had never been on. He lied about friends committing suicide that never happened, and then got like a bracelet that normally, I guess, like in the military, you get, I don't know if it's like their number or their name like engraved in it, and he just got a blank one. And his now brother-in-law like actually did go through some serious stuff, and he was the one kind of like filling in me and my boyfriend at the time's like sister about some of those things that were really weird. But yeah, just things that like speak a lot about the human. So real bad. Yeah, good times. Why are you single? Because the men that I choose are terrible. Did I go the right way? When did you realize? Okay. Oh, this was interesting. What's the most expensive thing you purchased that you regret buying? I don't think I have any regrets about any purchases. I would say after my house, the second most expensive thing that I own would be my car, and then after that is my dog. And I wanna say my dog because he was to make a long story short, I never really make a long story short, they're always kinda long, but I'll I'll condense it. So Saber, who's 10 years old, when he was about a year old, he was hit by a bus. He tore the ligaments in his armpit that, they thought they were actually gonna have to amputate, and I was like, "No, like, I want a second opinion. You know, this dog is so young. I want him to have the best life possible. Not that you can't by losing a limb, but if we can save it, I'm gonna go through every freaking measure to save it." So we waited a week, it didn't get worse. They're like, "Okay, we'll keep the arm." So he's done underwater treadmill therapy, he's done laser therapy, he's done acupuncture, he's done stim therapy, he's done every freaking therapy ever. So he would be my third most expensive thing that I own. So something that was expensive that I regret buying? Uh, I don't know, like organic bananas because like who cares? You take off the uh the skin. So isn't the inside organic anyways? I don't know. I really don't have something. If something pops into my head though, I'll let you guys know. Have you ever broken someone's heart? Oof. This was hard for me to read. Yes. Yeah, and maybe maybe this is karma coming back full circle to me. I have broken some hearts. Yeah, I have. I don't really know where to go with that. Actually, my friend who I was at brunch with today, I talked to him about one of the hearts that I broke because I was just telling him how much I've learned about myself and grown since that. And yeah, you don't feel great about it. I mean, you don't feel great about hurting somebody, and the way you let them down isn't always the best. I've ghosted people, and I don't feel great about that. It's something I'm working on in therapy. I avoid confrontation if possible. Um, so yeah. Fun times. And I also think, not to justify it, but I think that I've also been ghosted by so many people. Like, truly, it's kind of awful by so many people that I'm like, "Oh, well, all these people have ghosted me. Maybe this is just the norm, so I'm just gonna ghost these people," which is not the answer, which is not what you should do, but, we're only human. We're growing. Have you ever used a pickup line? Was it successful? I don't think I've specifically used a pickup line before, but I'm definitely bold and I don't really hold back. If I am interested in somebody, I'm not gonna be like, I was watching this Instagram reel, and this guy who calls himself like a dating expert was like trying to tell women how to date in real life. They were saying, "Yeah, you gotta lock eyes and like look away and then lock eyes again and then find a reason to walk past the person." And I'm listening to it and I'm like, "Oh, if I find somebody attractive in real life, I'm just going straight up to them." I have no shame. Like, truly, that's how my personality is. I'm just gonna go for it. So I don't know that I've used any pickup lines. I just try to be bold and go for what I want, even if it cancels a date on me. You are all you are the perfect blend of the girl next door with so much more. As crazy as the dating world can be, never forget that. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just waiting for Mr. Right. It's fine. With so much still unknown with the CrossFit games, maybe CrossFit season, will you still do the open? We've already spoken about this. TBD. But I mean, you guys will obviously know whether I do the open or not. You can easily search somebody's name. So You will know one way or another. And guys, can I just put this out there now? Regardless of regardless of if I do the open or not, can you just let people be in their decision and respect the decision? Truly, I've had a little bit of anxiety over this because I'm like, man, people are going to be so intense with their opinions one way or another. And not that whether you do the open or not is apples to apples with what your political beliefs are, but I feel like some people are reacting that way. And at the end of the day, whoever you voted for or whether you decide to do the open or not is your personal decision. And you're trying to make the best answer and decision for yourself. And everybody should just respect that and move on. Caleb, why did you leave morning chalk up? I'll plead the fifth. Um, Career development. Better opportunities with Talking Elite Fitness. We'll leave it at that. Not a question. Just want to tell you, you are gorgeous. Only way I can do that and it not be awkward. Come on now, reveal yourself. I've said, hey, if you want to slide into the DMs, like I read my DMs. Barry and Caleb, first the eyeballs, then the don't plead the fifth. Yeah, I mean, there were certainly reasons why I left morning chalk up. I'm not going to get into specifics and all of them. And maybe at some point I will at some point in my life, which is not today. Yeah, it didn't feel right in my gut anymore. You know, it didn't feel right. The last year that I was at morning chalk up, I was in the hospital 4 times in 1 year. And I think your body gives you signals of when you're in a bad situation, when you don't get yourself out of situations. Next question. Down to talk with someone from Tallahassee at Trent Mills, not Anon? Oh, not anonymous. Thanks, Trent. Caleb, I need the tea. No. Oh my God, guys, that's all I'm going to give. That's all I'm going to give. Oh, another one. Are you doing the open? Can you give reasons as to why or why not? We've talked about this. Thank you for your inquiry. When's the last time you went on a date? That's actually a really good question. When is the last time that I went on a date? It would have had to be, God, honestly, maybe before the CrossFit Games? No, maybe there was something after that. I honestly don't know. Brittany, always trust your gut. Yeah, your gut tells you a lot. Even when it's the same thing if you want to compare it with athletes who are overtraining. Your body will shut down if you don't shut down for it. Brunch this morning. What do you mean, Caleb? Poor Trent. Barry. Why poor Trent? Oh, were you saying that was my date? I did not go on a date. That was literally with my friend. Guys, I'm pretty honest on this show. If I went on a date this morning, y'all would be getting all of the tea and the full hash, the full rehash. The same way that I told you that the date that I was supposed to go on tomorrow canceled. Let me see if he unmatched with me too. No, he hasn't yet. I'm curious if he answers because all I said was, okay, thanks for being honest. Exclamation mark. Which, like, yeah, I do appreciate the honesty, but still annoying. Enjoy setting your radius to 5 miles apart and trying to find somebody that's your next door neighbor. Moving on. Who's the most handsome, tall British guy you know? I feel like this is definitely I feel like I definitely know who this is from. Should I reveal it? It's Patrick. It's definitely from Patrick. Y'all might know him. He in the CrossFit space. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He sometimes tries to call me on Instagram, which I didn't know you could do when he's drunk. I don't answer. But you're a great guy. You're a great dude. Brittany, let's go on a date in Miami. Me, you, and Nicole. Let's freaking go. That is the energy that I want. That is the energy that we will bring. That makes my heart happy. Ooh, this is a deep question. Guys, what is your greatest fear? Truly, it's not living a life to my full potential. I would say would be one of them. And the other fear, so yeah, I guess I have 2 I've got 2 big fears and they both live in different worlds. So that's the first one is living a life that I feel is not fulfilled and pushing myself to my full potential. And the other one truly is like being alone. Sorry, but that is something that I worry about, and not in the sense of necessarily like, "Oh my god, I'm never gonna find my person." But it's like when you think of things, like I think of my sister and my niece and nephew and her family, and I love spending time with them and, like, doing all of these things around the holidays with them is so much fun, and it makes my heart seriously so happy, and I feel like when I'm spending time, like, family time and stuff with my niece and nephew, that truly is the only time that I can kind of turn my work brain off, if that makes sense, where when I'm at home by myself, I really struggle with okay, it's 7 o'clock at night and I'm sitting and I'm watching an episode of Yellowstone. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I should be doing more. I should be creating a piece of content or I should be emailing somebody. Like, who the fuck is going to answer me at 7 p.m. on a Friday night? Um, and all of these things. And don't get me wrong, I hang out with my friends, I hang out with my family, and that really fulfills me. But when I think of like the environments that really get me out of like only prioritizing work and like these creative ideas that I have, it's when I surround myself with family. So I have a fear that maybe one day I won't have my own family, and that's really sad to me. So sorry, that's the truth. We get real here. Should we make beef Wellington when I get back home? I know this is from Tracy. So a couple years ago, me, my bestie Tracy, and our other friend Taylor, we drank so much wine, made gingerbread houses, and made beef Wellington for like our own little Christmas party. That was so much fun. And Tracy is coming back home. So she is one of the nutrition coaches for Training Think Tank. They scooped her up from good old Syracuse, New York, and brought her down to outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia. And she's coming home for a couple of days. And I'm so excited that we're going to hang out. And it brings me back to the time that we made beef Wellington. How is your fingernail? Y'all, I do not know how CrossFit women or men too, I guess, if you grow your nails long, how do you let them survive when you have a hook grip? RIP to my nail. And I truly, I did it to myself because I knew that they were getting too long. I knew it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I have a nail appointment on Friday because one of my best friends gets married on Saturday. So I'm going with her and her kids and one of our other friends. And I'm just like, I gotta wait it out. I gotta wait it out because I'm not gonna go to the nail salon twice within 2 weeks. We just aren't doing that. And we're not gonna fund that either. So I waited and I had decently heavy snatches on Monday and my nail split right down the middle while I was hook gripping. So RIP. Very sad. Very sad. Are you a clingy person in relationships? No. If you had to ask, you don't know me. No, but I am like an affectionate person. Like I love cuddling and I love like being close to my person. So I guess you could say like clingy in like the human like touching of each other. But when it comes to me and my sister are so opposite. Blowing up your phone, double texting, triple texting, multiple phone calls. My sister loves that shit and I do not. I do not. If I did not answer your text message, it's because I can't at the moment and I will absolutely respond when I can, FaceTime you, come over, call you, whatever it be. So I do not think maybe growing up, maybe in high school I used to be clingy. I could see myself maybe as being that way, but now as I approach the ripe age of 33, I am no longer clingy. Moose. Speaking of nutrition coaches, I have to go pick up Chinese food. Have a good night, Lauren. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Enjoy your food. That sounds good. Some sesame chicken and white rice. Mm, love that. Caleb, weddings are the best places to find love. How do you figure? Everybody goes with a date. I'm not. I'm trying to think of the last time that I had a oh my God. Oh, okay, there was one. I brought a guy friend to my cousin's wedding. Okay, back in 2015 was the last time that I went to a wedding with a date. And that could have been the only time. And I've been in 8 weddings. And some of those people didn't even give me a +1 because I was single. Rude. I feel like once you reach a certain age, I feel like everybody should have a +1. That might be a hot topic, but Marsh, how does a newspaper put you in the hospital 4 times? I didn't say that they put me in the hospital. I didn't say that they put me in the hospital. My last year working at Morning Chalk Up, I was in the hospital 4 times, and I think that your body giving up on you is a reaction to things. And that is all I will say. Next. Oh, this actually made me really sad. And this is when I was speaking at the beginning of the show of like, why would somebody send this in anonymous unless they just wanted me to like make myself look like an asshole on my own show? Why wouldn't they just like send me a DM? They said, why did you throw Sean under the bus when you guys all contributed to leaking Katrin's retirement? That's a really interesting perspective because I'm pretty sure what I said was that Sean was the one that edited it. And he just, I think he said on the Talking Elite Fitness podcast with him, or maybe it was our Q&A, I can't remember, but he just posted the wrong version. The one he had one that he edited and then one that he didn't, and he just uploaded the wrong one. And that's pretty much all I said about that. And then I did take ownership saying, but at the end of the day, I'm a journalist. I should know more than 10 years into this dang thing that when you have a hot mic, whatever you wouldn't want the world to hear, you shouldn't say while a microphone is hot. And if I didn't emphasize that enough in my live show, like I'm going to do it again. Sean is definitely not 100% accountable for that. All 3 of us are, because Tommy talked about what he heard off the record. I talked about what I heard off the record. And while we thought that it was just the 3 of us shooting the shit while we were on pause, which we do all of the time, accidents happen. And no, Sean should not be the one to completely take the fall for it just because he was the one that edits it. Like, he's a human. We all make mistakes. I've made the mistake of uploading the wrong thing. So it just made me sad that somebody took it as me throwing Sean under the bus, because I would never intentionally do that. And if it came across that way, I'm sorry. And if people really think that that's what I did, then I should also apologize to Sean, because I didn't want it to come across that way. Marsh, guys are never in the friend zone, Caleb. Wait, what? You have 2 guys. Wait, hold on. Sorry. I gotta scroll up. Weddings are the best place to find love. Okay, we went through that. Caleb, you have 2 guys in the friend zone? What 2 guys? What 2 guys? The guys who the guy who I brought to my cousin's wedding, he actually friend zoned me. So I wanted to date him and we were like friends with benefits for a while and he just wouldn't date me. So love that for me. So yeah, like my ass was friend zoned. But I actually brought him to my cousin's wedding because I wanted to make somebody jealous and they weren't there. So joke was on me. This is all the karma coming back. This is why I'm single because of all these things. Uh okay. Next. Do you hate when dudes like me respectfully hit on you in the DMs? Well, it's anonymous, so I don't know who you are. And I actually don't think that I get hit on a lot in my DMs. I would say people probably think that most women's DMs like are a dumpster fire. And I would say sometimes they are, but I would say for the most part, the people that DM me are pretty respectful. Caleb, what are you saying, girl, about? Oh, brunch guy and the guy at the wedding. Brunch guy, like I said, he's one of my friends and he's married. He's happily married and I'm friends with his wife. Like, they're both lovely people. Like, what are we talking about? Are you still with TEF? I don't see it in your bio. I could have sworn it wasn't there before. Yes, it wasn't there before, but I've like shifted what my bio looks like and I am actually going to change it again. And that's why. And I actually just ran out of like accounts that you can change. So that's part of the reason. Homie goes to a brunch for one reason and only one reason. That's 100% not true. Not this guy. Trust me. Trust me. Love your vibe. Keep being a positive light in this community, friend. Thanks, friend. I don't know what friend it is, but thank you. I appreciate that. Kyle, mimosas. No mimosas were consumed. I did, though, have a French toast latte, which it was a little sweeter than what I like my coffee, but it was really good. Caleb, how many unsolicited dick pics do you get in your DMs a week? None, but that's why I deleted Snapchat, actually, which I freaking should have known better. So I used to have Snapchat, like I think most people did. And then it got to the point where my Snapchat was really only a way for me and my 11 cousins to send each other really funny things. We had one big like Snapchat group and I had to get rid of Snapchat because I would match with guys on dating apps and the first thing that they would ask me, "What's your Snap?" And at first I'm like, "Oh, this I should have freaking known. I'm so dumb sometimes. I should have known. That meant that they want your Snap so they can send you a dick pic." But in my head, I'm like, guys don't think that like a dick is good to look at. Nobody thinks that, right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's not attractive, guys. Like, I'm sorry, but like, you don't have a beautiful penis. Like, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. And if somebody's telling you that you do, they are lying. They are lying. So yeah, people started sending unsolicited pics and we no longer have Snapchat. Tommy ruined Snapchat for everyone. Oh, that's not true. Tommy is like the most gentleman human ever and would never do that. Marsh, that's so mean. Tommy also ruined Katrin's retirement. That's really freaking rude. No, he didn't. And he spoke to her and also felt really, really bad. Like we all feel really bad. I'm just happy that everybody took it down and then let her have her moment. It's unfortunate. Who do you really like? Currently, no one. I don't have any crushes. I don't have anybody that I'm interested in. We just along for the ride. Best atmosphere to do the open near Q's. Near Q's, I would say my first ever affiliate that I was a member at, which is Mohawk Valley Wellness. It's in Marcy, so just outside of the Utica area. So it's about like 45, 50 minutes from Q's. But that affiliate is freaking electric. And they've done something with the community that I really haven't seen at many affiliates that I've dropped into or even been members at, that they just really know like the pulse of their community and how to get support from everybody and the amount of athletes that they have do their class, and they don't have this separation of, oh, here are the open gym athletes, and then here are the everyday CrossFit athletes. Like, it's really a blend of, the best people in their affiliate are doing everyday class, and they really bring the vibes. So I would say Mohawk Valley Wellness is the name of the CrossFit gym, and you should check it out. Marsh, I accept your apology. Thank you. Sorry. I got a little defensive there because, like, Tommy's my guy and he's a great human. And again, there was no ill intent with that coming out. So I guess the real truth is keep Sean out of retirement chat. CrossFit fat, come on. And that's also not fair because Sean was given clearance on Tia. Sean was given that clearance. Sean would never say something to that extreme unless a person who would know gave him the green light. Hello, keeping it real. Marsh, have you ever seen a not ugly dick pic? Guys, no, we're not having this conversation. And no, the answer is no. It's always ugly. So if any of you that are in the chat right now, because I see where this is going, no, just don't send it. Unless somebody asks. Like, if somebody asks, fine. You do you. You do you, boo-boo. But do not send it unsolicited. CrossFit hat. Yes. Yes, you did. Okay, you are too cute. Thank you for all the fire emojis. Meet you, coffee, or take out. Duh. We love the coffee. Okay, honestly, this bothered me. This really bothered me. Show idea. Sleep with CrossFit athletes and then talk about it next week. Names redacted. I would love for the person who wrote this in to reveal themselves. Did you think that this was funny? Do you not know what kind of content I put out? And my reputation is everything to me. Truly it is. And to think that I would create a show like that, like, yeah, I come on here and I bullshit about like my dating and ha ha ha. And yeah, it's like fun and lighthearted, but you want me to just go around and sleep with CrossFit athletes and then talk about it? Like, honestly, like this just was too much for me. This was too much for me. Maybe you don't want to reveal yourself because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. No, honestly, like if you're watching this and you did send that message, I would love to have a conversation with you about this because I'm curious where this came from. Like, I don't even know. That's hard for me. That's hard for me. And it also brings me back to the time where I had somebody ask me to build a show that was called Two Blondes and a Barbell. And that truthfully really bothered me because I feel like I try really hard to identify myself in this space for my knowledge, for my interview style, for how I create content, and not about my looks or sexualizing me. And both of those show ideas do the complete opposite. Like, if you think that I'm just like a blonde with big boobs or whatever it is, like, that's upsetting. That just makes me lose faith in humanity. Like, come on. Let me read some of these comments. Caleb. What about Brian Friend? He's kind of handsome. No. Sorry. No, I'm not dating these people. Keeping it real, LOL. Delete last image. Caleb, Snapchat dick rating with Laur. No. Dating stuff is fun though. That's nuts. I think you can pay to reveal the asker. I am not paying. I don't care that much. Marsh says that it was you, Caleb, that sent that message. Really belittles women in the field and the role. Thank you. I think so too. It just yeah, it's just disappointing to me when somebody makes that comment because then I'm like, "Man, am I not trying hard enough to just set myself apart from that type of image?" I don't know. I feel like I'm very sensitive with what I post and whatever. We'll move on. Taylor, oh my god, you'd hit be friend. I don't know in what way you mean. Y'all are wild in comment sections. I read a couple comments and I'm like, guys, this is too much. I got to get out of here. I've never seen so many people just like go back and forth in comment sections before. It's kind of wild. Stop with the hog talk. Okay, let's go to the next one. Not a question, but you should leave Talking Elite Fitness and go out on your own. Nope, we've already talked about this. I love Talking Elite Fitness. I love working with Sean and Tommy, and I'm doing some stuff on my own and I do stuff with them. And I feel like I've created a good balance to be able to do both and keep them separate. So we're going to keep doing that. Caleb, was that blondes and a barbell idea some morning chocolate bullshit? Plead the fifth and move on. What does your average day look like? It's always different. Like I said today, I had time to go to brunch. I worked out. I answered emails. I edited some stuff. Not every day is the same. And that's why I really like what I do because, yeah, every day is so different, especially if I'm on the road or at an event. That can definitely look really different because those are like 12 to 14-hour days. When I'm home, they're a little bit more chill and I can have a bit more control. I like to front load my week. So I try to do most of my recordings and meetings and things like that on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays is normally like, okay, let's play catch up. And then we record our podcast normally Thursday nights. What night is today? But we're going to do Wednesday night. Yeah. Which is tonight, just for scheduling purposes. So yeah, I don't really have an average day. I work out 5 to 6 times a week. I have meetings throughout the week, content plan ideas, editing stuff for social media, editing stuff for TEF or for my own personal channel. So it's a mixed bag. How often do you get inappropriate DMs? Not that often. And I love that for me. Marsh, hey Taylor, Coach L is a better coach than you. Oh God, guys, please don't turn my comment section into the dumpster fires. Please don't. This is another one that, guys, is freaking annoying. Highest games open finish of a hookup or significant other? None, except for like people that I've dated locally who have signed up for the open. And that's as far as they've gone. Like CrossFit or CrossFat, my bad. How do you explain your job to others when you meet? That honestly always fascinates me. That's a great question. I always feel like it's weird and it's hard to explain my job because it's honestly kind of a made up job. It's a job that I've made up and I am flying the plane as I'm building the plane. The best way that I explain it is if you're talking about people I meet in real life or even on dating apps, I normally just say sports reporter. And then if people ask what that is, I say, I do some YouTube and podcast content and then I cover live events. And that's like the easiest way to explain it. How many people listen to the Talking Elite podcast? I don't know because I actually don't upload our audio. Tommy does that, so he has our numbers. I honestly have no idea what they look like. How do you stay up to date on CrossFit Games news consumption? I would say I used to listen to a lot of podcasts because that's a good way that I can kind of multitask, and I'll normally listen to them on like the 1.5 speed. So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of uh searching media outlets on Instagram, websites, things like that. And also just talking to people in my affiliate too has been really helpful. Like sometimes they'll see things that I didn't, excuse me, I don't know if that burp came across. And that's really helpful too. How do you leave your friends on red? I don't think I do. Sometimes I do. I get back to them eventually. I am actually, for as much as I'm on my phone, I can be kind of bad on my phone because I look at something and I'm like, oh, okay, is it urgent right now? I'm in the middle of something else. And then I think to go back to it and I don't. Honestly, the update, and this happened a while ago, but on iMessages, how you can mark it as unread, that was like the best upgrade that they gave. Confess here who you're trying to get with. No one. I already said that there's nobody I'm interested in and I have no crushes. Who in your friend group has the best style? Presley Hirsch, hands down. Dressed by Prez used to be what she would call me because when I would visit her, hold on, I'm going to unshare the screen because that was actually the last one. When I would visit her, there we go, would always let me borrow her clothes and it was great. Marge, I can be kind of bad on my phone. What do you know that you know what I mean by that? I mean, I'm bad at responding. I don't know how you guys are taking that. Everybody's minds are so freaking weird. Oops. What's happening? There we go. Okay, wow. It took us like an hour and 20 minutes to get through all of y'all dang questions. Some were great, some were not great. But here we are. I try to give you guys my most authentic self. The good, the bad, the ugly. When I'm annoyed, I will tell you, like with a couple of those questions. But I also said that I wasn't going to gatekeep and I was going to show you all of the questions that came in, the good, the bad, the ugly. That was kind of fun though. Changed up the show. I want to see your ungreen screen. We want to see your living quarters. This isn't a green screen. You can literally see which way. A sleeping snoot. Miko. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of movement. She's annoyed by me now. Yes, and when my aunt stays at my house and watches my dogs when I'm on the road, she also decorates for me, so it's great. You see? Can you do a reaction show to the spin? What do you mean? Like, what kind of reaction show? To what episode? To a specific thing? We need to see your kitchen or something for this to be truly authentic. I can't transport this whole system of everything that's plugged in right now to my kitchen. And if y'all follow me on Instagram and look at my Instagram stories, you can see my kitchen and a lot of the things that I post. You just have the focus on fleek. It's the what is this emoji? The little hand. I love the little hand. I don't know what it really means, but I like it for a lot of reasons. Oh, they're live right now? No, I'm not gonna No, I'm not gonna inception of their show and my show. They're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing. I don't know what you guys want me to react to. Do you think the earth is flat? Guys, now literally this comment section is getting out of hand. What is happening? What is happening? Okay. I normally only let these go for an hour and we are well over the hour. We are at an hour and 20 minutes. Y'all are wild. Yeah. Okay. Let me stop while we're ahead. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for how tall were you at 21 years old? I've been 5'1" and a quarter since 4th or 5th grade. Yeah. Yeah, good times. Last question. That's the last one that I'm answering. This was fun. Thank you all for joining this conversation. Oh my God. Okay, fine. I'll call my dog over. One moment. Just because she's so cute. Miko, say hi to all of your fans. People are really friends with me because they love my dogs. That's really why people will ever be friends, because they just want a connection to the snoots. They're great. And on that note, we're done here. Look at this sleeping face. She's so tired. It's what time is it? It's 8:35 our time. We're going to record our Talking Elite Fitness podcast in a little over an hour. It's a real dog, guys. Yes, it's a real dog. And my other one, he's too far. I can't get him. Yep. She's got realness all over her. She's the best. She's such a good cuddler, too. Oh, yeah. Look, she's just going to fall asleep right here. Just going to fall asleep. If you could have 14 dogs, would you? Absolutely. Okay, now we're really done. We're really done here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all of your great questions. This has been so much fun. And we'll see you guys for a live show next week. We'll probably keep doing them on Wednesday. Christmas is coming up. But next week, yeah, we'll probably do Wednesday next week. Okay. It's been real. Like and subscribe to the channel. Help me grow, guys. Help me grow. And also, if there's certain guests that you want me to have on, again, outside of the CrossFit space, let me know. On next week, on Tuesday, my interview with the owners of the Tactical Games will go live. So that was a really great conversation. And then there's a couple guys in the golf ecosystem that we're trying to get in. So that will be fun. But if there's anybody else that you guys want, I have my own running list, but just shoot me a message. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.